Well, hello and good afternoon and good morning. This is Tech for Senior for Labor Day, September 2nd, 2024. I'm Hewie Poplock. This is episode number 230. And as I said, I'm Hewie Poplock. I'm your host today. Ron is here, but he's the co-host today. And we do this the first Monday of every month, just to give Ron a little break and make it a little bit more experience for me. So if Ron wants to take a week totally off, that he can do so. So that's why we do this. But either way, Ron's here and he'll be a part of the show as well. And let's see what else I've got going on here. This is a 1-hour show about technology, and we have a Q&A or question and answer time at the end on the next hour. Today, Bob will be talking about the security, and then let's see, there'll be Where Did You Go? It's by me, and it's a Where Did You Go co-pilot. And Fun with Photos with Chris, and then a Website of the Week will be me, and Is It Truly Free from Bob about Spotify, and then we'll have our music session from Ray. Let's do a little intro here. Most of you know us. If anyone's here new, we'd love to have you say hi in the chat and tell us where you're from. And then in the Q&A, do the same thing. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I was interested, did anyone pass the quiz on Gemini Live? How to put in the chat what was your score? Be honest now, did you pass? I'm interested to know. Anyway, other than that, I'm having a great time. Carry on, Hewie.
Okay, Bob, the voice of Tech for Senior. Bob, how are you doing today?
Just fine. A curious little thing. Most of you know my wife was having a problem with hearing, and we can't get an appointment for another 8 months. I finally bought some hearing aids, and 2 days after she put in the hearing aids, she says, "Oh, this is awful loud." Her hearing came back.
That'll do it every time. You buy something to fix something and it gets fixed. But, well, she'll have them anyway, and she has problems. Does it help the one ear that was already deaf?
Yes, and that's where she's still going to be using it.
That's great. Ray, our music director, you've got something coming up on Wednesday too, don't you?
I do. It's called the Stug Meeting, and I also have another presentation on a different topic I'm doing the day before, which is kind of brand new for me. So this has been a busy weekend, but it's good because this is the time of the year on the big holidays in the summer that my little community of 2,000 people is overrun by everybody coming up from Phoenix for the cooler weather. And you just don't want to go out. So I'm happy to stay home and do my work.
Ron, let's see. I'm sorry, Bill James, our generalist and our person who talks about various gadgets. Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Nothing special here. I am using my Mac today, though. I decided to dig it out. I haven't used it in a spell, so I'm accessing Tech for Seniors on Zoom with my Mac.
Yeah, and on our Thursday show, we use StreamYard, which was just sold to Bending Spoon, a company based in Italy, and that's the same company that bought Evernote. So we're hoping that StreamYard is going to continue to be as good a product as it's been. We talked about that in the pre-show amongst those of us who are part of the crew here. And then let's see, Chris, what's going on with your life? You and Jim.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Always looking forward to the Tech for Senior. We are giving an in-person
Live
presentation this
and
week
on Zoom.
to our dive club. So we're going to be showing them about Google Photos.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
You're not doing it while you're diving, are you?
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
No, it's at a hotel, conference area.
Okay, and Tech for Seniors, we're in our 5th year. We're heading towards the end of the 5th year, so we'll be going in our 6th year. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. We have a website, ℎ𝕙4Senior.com. Make sure you visit it and get information. And then don't forget TFS or Tech for Senior Live on Thursdays. And don't forget our newsletter. This week for me, I've got the STUG meeting on Wednesday, September 4th. Our Tech for the Tech Help Desk is from 6:30 to 7 Eastern Time. Then I do a quick review of the coming events for STUG, and then we'll be raised production of technology always seems to be changing the way we listen to music at home and in the car. So we're looking forward to that. And then the Windows SIG is on Sunday, and you're all invited to that. And if you're already signed up, you don't have to sign up again. If not, go to hewie.net/WinSig and sign up. And that's this Sunday, September 8th. And then the Let's Talk AI is the 4th Friday of the month, which is September 27th. And it's open to all of you as well. And then be sure you subscribe to our newsletters, the Tech for Senior newsletter, the Windows SIG newsletter, and the Let's Talk AI newsletter. And the premiere video today, Ron will post the link. And the items are the introduction of Google Photos folders and albums by Chris. What is AUE on a Chromebook by Ron. And then I'll be doing modems and routers. So be sure you check that out on the next half hour. And that's our premiere or our education session where we do some of the older videos that we've done to remind you of those topics. Okay, I think we're ready to go, Bob.
Here is my security news roundup for the week ending August 30th, 2024. Just a heads up, this may be the last episode of this series. French authorities charge Telegram CEO of facilitating criminal activities on platform. French prosecutors on Wednesday formally charged Telegram CEO Pavel Durov with facilitating a litany of criminal activity on the popular messaging platform and placed him under formal investigation following his arrest Saturday. Russian-born Durov, who is also a French citizen, has been charged with being complicit in the spread of child sexual abuse material, as well as enabling organized crime, illicit transactions, drug trafficking, and fraud. Durov has also been charged with a refusal to communicate at the request of competent authorities information or documents necessary for carrying out and operating interceptions allowed by law, according to an English translation of the press release. Could this be the start of the end of free speech as we know it? Read more at thehackernews.com. New QR code phishing campaign exploits Microsoft sway to steal credentials. Cybersecurity researchers are calling attention to a new QR code phishing campaign that leverages Microsoft sway infrastructure to host fake pages, once again highlighting the abuse of legitimate cloud offerings for malicious purposes. By using legitimate cloud applications, attackers provide credibility to victims, helping them to trust the content it serves. Netscope Threat Labs researcher Jan Michael Alcantara said, "The attacks have primarily singled out users in Asia and North America, with technology, manufacturing, and finance sectors being the most sought-after sectors." Read more at thehackernews.com. Critical WPML plugin flaw exposes WordPress sites to remote code execution. A critical security flaw has been discovered in the WPML WordPress multilingual plugin. that could allow authenticated users to execute arbitrary code remotely under certain circumstances. The vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2024-6386 with a CVSS score of 9.9, impacts all versions of the plugin before 4.6.13, which was released on August 20th, 2024. Arising due to missing input validation and sanitization, the issue makes it possible for authenticated attackers with contributor-level access and above to execute code on the server. WPML is a popular plugin used for building multilingual WordPress sites. It has over 1 million active installations. Read more at thehackernews.com. Illinois County leaks over 470,000 critical voter documents. One of the largest state counties in Illinois, St. Clair County, has had its voter data exposed. The county clerk's office leaked sensitive documents used to verify voter registration lists. Voter data is among the most crucial cornerstone of any functioning democracy. However, the Cyber News research team has discovered that the St. Clair clerk's office leaked nearly 500,000 documents used to identify voters in the Illinois county. The exposed instance includes paperless online voter applications, national change of address applications, and applications for vote by mail ballot. All these applications reveal a treasure trove of voter information. I wonder if this was really an accidental leak. Read more at cybernews.com. China's Volt Typhoon exploits zero-day in Versa's SD-WAN director servers. China's notorious Volt Typhoon group has been actively exploiting a zero-day bug in Versa Network's director servers to intercept and harvest credentials to be used in future attacks. The bug, now patched and tracked as CVE 2024-39717, affects all versions of Versa Director prior to 22.1.4 and has to do with a feature that lets users customize the look and feel of its graphical user interface. If you're still using an old version, update. Read more at darkreading.com. Sonic Wall pushes patch for critical vulnerability in Sonic OS platform. Network security company Sonic Wall has identified a critical vulnerability in its Sonic OS platform that can be exploited to gain unauthorized access and, in certain conditions, cause the company's firewalls to crash. In a security advisory issued Thursday, the company gives the vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2024-40766, a CVSS score of 9.3. The related entry in the National Vulnerability Database does not have a score assigned as of this article's publication. Sonic Wall says the issue affects its Gen 5 and Gen 6 firewall devices, as well as Generation 7 firewall devices that are operating on Sonic OS version 7.0.1-5035 and earlier. To be safe, apply the latest patch. Read more at cyberscoop.com. Car makers are still selling drivers' data. U.S. officials demand the FTC investigate. On July 26th, Senators Ron Wyden and Edward J. Markey issued a letter to FTC Chair Lina S. Khan asking the regulatory leader to investigate the continued practice of car manufacturers collecting and then selling the driving data of its customers, which includes information like the exact time, distance, speed, and braking behavior of every auto trip. This data is then offered to insurance companies. Companies should not be selling Americans data without their consent, period. But it is particularly insulting for automakers that are selling cars for tens of thousands of dollars than to squeeze out a few additional pennies of profit with consumers' private data. The senators write, Read more at Mashable.com. Town of Plymouth falls victim to costly social engineering scam. The town of Plymouth is searching for answers after it recently fell victim to a social engineering scam, according to a Facebook post from the office of Mayor Joseph Kilduff. Two payments, each worth $104,150, were reportedly sent to scammers and have not yet been returned. Kilduff said that he recently met with the town's finance director, and both individuals mutually agreed it was in the town's best interest for her to resign immediately. According to Kilduff, one of the town's vendors was hacked by fraudulent actors over a month ago, and the breach went unnoticed. Read more at fox61.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel: The Evolution of Social Engineering Scams. Discover the dark art of social engineering, where deception and manipulation have evolved into one of the most significant threats in cybersecurity. Please watch my video on that topic by following the link listed. Did you know the word nerd was first coined by Dr. Seuss? The next time someone calls you a nerd, just remember you're in a book by Dr. Seuss. How cool is that? Sea otters hold hands when they sleep to avoid drifting apart. A little clingy, but in the most adorable way possible. Horses can't vomit, so no need to worry about your horse making a mess after a wild night out. Just thought you might want to know. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. Thanks to John Wooden. And that's a wrap of this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you, Bob. Let's go to the next item here. Where did you go, co-pilot? I'm Hewie Poplock. My taskbar last week looked like this. Making it a little larger, the co-pilot icon was over on the side. Wednesday, when I turned on my computer, it looked like this. Today, I went ahead and opened up Copilot and noticed that the icon was now just a regular icon, and I could pin it to the taskbar. So what's going on? Well, last week the icon looked like this, with the preview noted on the icon. Now that pre is gone, and so they must have released Copilot, but there wasn't a word anywhere. I did some searching. One of the searches I found, Copilot is missing from the right side of the taskbar, and it's not visible in the taskbar settings to turn on. It was working fine before the update 3 or 4 days ago. Can anyone help with this issue? Another response was, I just restarted my PC, and for some reason, Copilot is now in my taskbar instead of where it was supposed to be on the right side. Someone else wrote, this is the new Copilot experience on Windows. It's now an app that can be managed, resized, and moved around like any other. No going back to the old way. Another one said, you can partly blame all the Windows users that were decrying this feature because you couldn't uninstall Copilot, even though it was always a web browser instance docked to the side of the screen. Another person wrote, my wife had the icon on Windows 11, build 226.321, and has the Copilot app on the bottom right. I had the same build. step so far to try to fix this. I'm logged into my Microsoft account. Copilot Pro is active. Updated Windows, installed Insider Preview Beta and Dev channels, and no change. Check the taskbar settings. Nothing about the program to toggle on or off. Reinstalled Copilot under Apps. And he also signed up for the subscription thinking that would help, and it did not. And then he ran SFC and then /scan, and no change. And another person wrote, I do have the Copilot program on the PC, but this one acts different in terms of how to access it. I like the program preview version in the corner because it just popped up when I needed to use it. Now it's a separate window. I have to snap the right side, but the behavior is still very different. I don't like this. I don't know how to get it back. The program also appears as normal in the Office 365 apps. And when I went and looked at the settings for the taskbar, there is no mention now of Copilot. Again, Copilot by Microsoft. Where did you go? I'm Hewie Poplock. Okay, next, go ahead, Chris. We'll any questions about that, we can talk about it at the Q&A. Go ahead, Chris.
However you pronounce it. Animations are just so much fun. And you know, it used to take a very skilled computer operator in order to make them. And now with Google Photos, it's just so easy. I want to start from scratch with a very simple example. So I'm going to take a couple photos of Jim. First, I just take a photo. Now I ask you to lower your chin just a touch. Okay, so I have two photos of Jim with his chin in a different position. Now I also want to take a motion photo of him. And in case you don't know how to do a motion photo, this is on a Samsung. On iPhone, it's called Live. On Samsung, it's called Motion. This icon right here, motion photo on, tap it again, motion photo off. So I'm going to tap motion photo on. All right. Now I'm going to ask Jim to pretend like something just really surprised him and say, wow. And I'm just going to take a photo, but it'll be a motion photo.
Wow.
Okay, now we'll see how that worked. So now I'm going to show you on my phone in Google Photos. Here are those three photos I just took. Here are the two, and I'm going to make an animation out of those two. All you do is select them. Select the one by touch and hold, then add the other one to the selection. I have now selected two, and I tap the plus, add to, animation. So now, if I say, do you love me?
Oh, yes, I do.
All right, now let's take a look at this one. It looks like just a photo, right? But it is a motion photo. And if I play it,
Wow.
now I can turn that motion photo into an animation. This is something only available on the Android. The other one is available on Android, iPhone, and web, but this one is just Android. All I do is swipe up and then find the option for export and GIF and export. And it takes that motion and puts it into an animation. Wow. So, you know, I could add that to an email or a blog post anywhere that I wanted something to show up that says, wow. So to review, creating animations with Google Photos, there's two ways. Either using multiple photos, and I only used two in that one, but you can go up to 50. So for example, here, when we lived in an RV and traveled all over the country, we would always take a picture of the state sign. So I love having just this animation that just goes through, boom, 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 all these state signs. That is a point, however. You have no control over the speed or the order of the pictures. So you have to take them. If you want them to be in sequence, they have to be taken in sequence. They are by date and time order. And the second way of making an animation is with a motion photo or a live photo, and you export to GIF. I want to do another example of this. I'm going to use the computer for the multiple photos one. Usually you're making an animation out of a series of photos that kind of tell a story. I'm going to use these fireworks. So I'll select the first one and I will select that one and that one and that one. That one's already in animation, so I just want that one. I have 5 photos selected. You click the plus and animation. It still just stuns me at how easy that is. Now I want to use the other method. Here is a motion photo. So see, it looks like it's just a photo, but when I click the little play button, it does have motion. In order to make that an animation, I have to use the Samsung phone. So here is that photo on my Samsung phone. It is a motion photo. All I do, swipe up, export, GIF, and export. I now have an animation. So what are these good for, other than just being fun? Well, that's absolutely the main thing, is that they are fun. But you can share them and realize when you put them in an email or you display them on a blog post, they're going to be automatically moving. Nobody has to click anything. They move and they repeat. So I'm going to make one more with multiple photos. This is for our friends at Tech for Senior. They have several different people who present on topics, and I happen to have photos of them. Ron and us and Bill and Ray and Hewie and Bob. So I've selected 6. I click the plus and animation. And now I have an animation. Consider this. This could become a signature, part of the signature in an email. If I go to Gmail and compose an email, I can then add that image. I just click on the add a photo, and in Google Photos, there it is, insert. And it comes in full size, but if you wanted it as part of the signature, you could make it smaller. And as I said, nobody has to click anything. It just cycles, it goes through its motion. That picture of the divers going over, let's say I wanted to put that into a blog post. I can go to my blog using Blogger or WordPress, and I can add an image. Since I'm using Blogger, it's connected to Google Photos. So from Blogger, I would insert image from Google Photos. There is the animated GIF and insert. And if I save it, or you can see right here. So it just starts playing. So it doesn't have to be a video that somebody has to click on play, and it'll just go over and over. And I think it's so much fun. You could use this for stop motion animations. So I have my little stuffed pelican who sits in a tree. I set my phone up on a little tripod so that it would be the exact same shot each time. And I moved him around and put his wings out. Is that fun? Now, the last kind of animation you might want to make is from a short video. So you want to turn a video into an animation. You can't do that in Google Photos, but Clipchamp makes it pretty easy. If you want to learn more about Clipchamp, it's free from Microsoft. It was our Fun with Photos episode 21 where we taught about that. So I go to Clipchamp, and you need to sign in with a Microsoft account and then create new video, import media. And I have this little short video of Jim getting back into a kayak after we've been kayak diving. And this is something everybody always asks us, how do you get back in the kayak? So let's make the video into an animated GIF that we can post all over the place and answer that question. I've imported the video, I add it to the timeline, and all you do is export to a GIF. Now it says it has to be less than 15 seconds. This one is 16 seconds. I'll just shorten it just a little bit. Export to a GIF. And that's it. When this is done, you have an animation of Jim getting back on the kayak. And if you want to, because it's Clipchamp, it's a video editor, you can add some text. You can change the speed of it. You can also add those multiple pictures and control the speed and the length of an animation. So there is the finished product. Play with animations. It's just so much fun.
There you go.
Thanks, Chris. Great advice and some things that I certainly could use. So I will be using them. So let's go to our next.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Website of the week number 21. I'm Hewie Poplock. Random Street View. Your window to the world. Welcome to the world of randomstreetview.com, a website that takes you on an exhilarating journey through the streets of the globe. Get ready to explore fascinating sights, breathtaking landscapes, and bustling cityscapes. Each image is a random snapshot captured by Google Street View, offering a unique perspective on the world. Random Street View is a website that lets you explore the world through the lens of Google Street View, providing random images from different locations around the globe. Discover new places, immerse yourself in different cultures, and experience the world from a unique perspective, all with just a click of a button. The website is easy to use. Simply click the next button to view a new random street view. With a vast database of images, promises endless hours of exploration and discovery. Showcasing random street view images. The website presents a randomized selection of images captured by Google Street View cameras. Explore a diverse range of locations, from bustling city streets to serene countryside landscapes. Experience the world through a unique perspective, capturing moments frozen in time and offering a glimpse into different cultures. Embark on a journey of discovery, exploring diverse landscapes, bustling city streets, and hidden gems from around the world. Immerse yourself in different cultures, experiencing the world through the eyes of Google Street View cameras. Travel the globe virtually, exploring new destinations and uncovering hidden treasures with each random image. Explore Street View images from nearly every corner of the globe, experiencing the world in all of its diversity. While the website offers a vast collection of images, certain countries like China and North Korea are not included due to restrictions. Embark on a virtual journey exploring the world's diverse landscapes, bustling cityscapes, and hidden wonders. Here are a few quotes. RandomStreetView.com shows random Street View images from around the world. Extraordinary, addictive, and fun site, and I can assure you it's addictive. And thank you to Paolo Tossolini, whose website it is. Random Street View is an engaging and immersive website that allows you to explore the world through the lens of Google Street View. Each image offers a unique perspective on the world, showcasing the diversity of cultures and landscapes and urban environments. Embark on a virtual journey, discovering the new places, different cultures, and immersing yourself in the world. Let's take a look. RandomStreetView.com. Very simple screen. You'll notice here it says RandomStreetView.com does what it says, Random Street View. When you first start it, it can take you just about anywhere. Right now, we're in Hungary. And let's look at the screen. It shows us a map here on the top left, and it gives us some information about where we are. Sometimes it doesn't tell us what country. We have to zoom out on the map to see where we are. Then there's an advertisement. And this you want to disregard totally, because sometimes it says install and it's an advertisement for some software. So just don't pay any attention to it. If you want to look at it, it gives a reason that this is coming to you free. Down here is you can look at previous. Of course, there isn't one. Then you can go to next. You can look at all countries, or you can specify which country you want. We'll leave it at all countries. And then when we go to the next one, we just click here and then save this view. When we click that, we can then save it to either Facebook or Twitter or to Google+. And then looking for a specific location, you can go to the mapstreetview.com. Down on the lower right, it says keyboard shortcuts. And if we click that, it opens it up on the top left. It just tells us what keyboard shortcuts we can use with the up and down arrow sideways, and then the plus and a minus to zoom in. You can also use your mouse to move around by clicking and by using your wheel. So let's close that up and let's see where we are. We're in Hungary. We're along one of the roads. If you're familiar with the Google Street Move, you'll notice the arrows are here. So we can travel this road. We can turn and give us usually a 360 view so we can look the other direction. And we can see, well, we're in an area that's all trees. Now what we can do is we can click down the road here and we can actually drive that street or road to see where we are. And you can see here we're on this road. Sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's just more trees or more houses or whatever. So we'll take a look at, let's go to the next place. And now we're in Czechia, the old Czechoslovakia. Let's see where we're at here. Well, we're on a very small path. 1 car width, probably. And we've got an old abandoned truck to the right as we go up this little hill. And again, we're out in the middle of fields and forests. Beautiful view, though. Look at that. Look at both sides of the road. Okay, let's go to next. And we're now in near Berlin, so this must be Germany. And so we're in a big city now. And let's see where this takes us. It curves around. And so we're in a city. So you can see here, you can pretty much go wherever you want. This is some type of a big store. We'll go back the other way now. Let's see what we've got here, if there's anything interesting. Curves around. Let's go down this road. Go over on this side of the road. There we go. So you can see that you can travel and look around as much as you want. When we come here, we can look down that street. We can see buildings. Just very interesting. Let's go to the next one. Let's see where we are here. We're in, it looks like Argentina maybe. Let's pull out here. Yep, we're in Argentina. And wow, look at the snow-capped mountains. And nothing, just nothing. So again, we can travel. We'll come up this little hill a little bit, see if there's anything here. Doesn't look like much. And if I wanted to, I can actually, let's say I wanted to come down, let's see, let's go over here and move here. So I can actually change the location from the map. Doesn't look like there's much here to look at. Okay, we're in a little village here. And we're looking down on it. We're not on the road. But isn't that gorgeous? And let's go to the next. And now we're in Singapore. Again, we can turn around 360 degrees. We can go the other way. We can see what's here. But let's say we want to save this picture. We want to save the view. Okay, we can grab that. We can say, okay, save it to Facebook. What it'll do, it'll go out to Facebook, and it'll give you some information there, and it'll show that view, and then I can share it. If we want to do a screen capture, open in a new window, that just gives us another window. See where we are. We're now in Maine, northeast of Portland, Maine, and some nice New England homes. As we move around 360 degrees, we can go, let's come back, and we'll go down Old Bath Road. See if there's anything interesting here. There's some home and a barn. So this is randomstreetview.com. Hope you had a nice trip. Website of the week number 21. I'm Hewie Poplock. Random Street View. Your window. There you go. So if you want to waste many hours, you can do so and just travel the world and see it from the street level. And just great. All right. Bob is free, truly free. Let's take a look at Spotify.
When you hear the word free, your wallet breathes a sigh of relief, right? But hold up. We all know there's no such thing as a free lunch, especially in the digital age. Spotify, the music streaming giant, proudly waves the free banner. But is it truly as costless as it seems? Let's crank up the volume and dissect what free really means when it comes to Spotify. How does Spotify profit from free accounts? Spotify's free tier is like the appetizer at a fancy restaurant. It's just enough to get you interested, but you'll eventually want the full meal. Here's how they make money off those who opt for the free ride. Advertising revenue. Every few songs, you'll get hit with an ad. Whether it's a jingle for the latest sneakers or a podcast plug, Advertisers pay Spotify to get in your ears. The more you listen, the more ads you hear, and the more money Spotify rakes in. Data harvesting. Spotify isn't just about tunes, it's also about data. They track your listening habits, preferences, and even your location if you allow it. This data is gold for marketers who want to serve you hyper-targeted ads. Premium teasing. Spotify is a master of the upsell. They strategically place ads that nudge you toward their premium service, promising uninterrupted listening bliss. This strategy converts a chunk of free users into paying customers, adding to their revenue stream. Are there any hidden charges? Spotify doesn't charge free users outright. No sneaky charges lurking in your bank statement. However, the hidden cost comes in the form of your time and data. Those ads you listen to are the price you pay, and in the digital world, time is money. Plus, the data you share with Spotify is used to keep those ads coming and improve their marketing efforts. What information does Spotify collect? Spotify is like that friend who knows a bit too much about you. Here's a peek into what they gather. Listening habits, what songs you play, how often you listen, and which artists are on repeat. Personal data, your name, email, birth date, and gender. Device information, the type of device you're using, your IP address, and even your location if you've granted access. Usage data, how you interact with the app, what buttons you press, how long you stay on a particular page, etc. This data isn't just for show. Spotify uses it to fine-tune your experience, but it's also shared with advertisers to tailor the ads you hear. What does Spotify sell? Spotify primarily sells advertising space to brands eager to reach its massive audience. But they also sell insights. The data collected from free users is packaged into anonymized but valuable insights that help advertisers craft the perfect pitch. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, massive library. Even on the free plan, you get access to millions of songs and podcasts. You'll even find my podcast on Spotify. Just follow the link listed. Personalization. The more you listen, the better Spotify gets at curating playlists that suit your taste. No direct cost. You can listen to music without paying a dime, as long as you're okay with ads. The bad. Ads galore. Interruptions can be frequent and jarring, especially when you're in the groove. Limited features. Some perks like offline listening, higher audio quality, and unlimited skips are locked behind the premium paywall. The ugly. Privacy concerns. The amount of data Spotify collects can be a bit unsettling. They're transparent about it, but not everyone is comfortable with their listening habits being scrutinized. Final verdict. Spotify's free tier is a great way to enjoy a world of music without opening your wallet, but it comes at the cost of your time and data. If you're okay with that trade-off, it's a solid deal. However, if you value your privacy and hate interruptions, you might find the premium plan or a different service more appealing. So, is Spotify really free? Technically, yes. But in reality, you're paying with your time, data, and a dash of patience. Stay safe, stay secure, and if you're cool with that, then rock on. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
Thanks, Bob. You've done a whole series on free, is free really free? And this one is a very good one. And it explains thoroughly about the ads and how it pays for it. Anyway, we are at the crossroads. We're going to, those of you who are on our YouTube feed, we're going to say goodbye to you. And there is plenty of room for you to join us in the Zoom meeting. So by all means, do come and join us for the music interlude and the music section, and then the Q&A afterwards. So at this point, Ron, if you'll turn off the YouTube, and I believe you have, let's go ahead and we'll turn it over to Ray for our music selection of the day.
Smokey Robinson, so much more than just a singer. Smokey Robinson was born William Robinson Jr. on February 19, 1940 in Detroit, Michigan. He's a legendary American R&B and soul singer, a songwriter, a record producer, and a former record executive. But of course, he is best known as the founder and frontman of the pioneering Motown vocal group, the Miracles. Now, Robinson grew up in a poor neighborhood in Detroit and developed an early interest in his music. His uncle gave him the nickname Smokey Joe because of their shared love for cowboy movies. But over time, he dropped the Joe to be known simply as Smokey. In 1955, Robinson founded the Miracles, and they became one of Motown's first successful acts. Their first major hit, Shop Around, released in 1960, became a million seller. Robinson was the chief songwriter and producer for the group, penning hits like You've Really Got a Hold on Me, Mickey's Monkey, and Ooh, Baby, Baby. Robinson left the Miracles in 1972 to focus on his role as vice president of Motown Records, but returned to music as a solo artist in 1973. His solo hits include Cruisin', Being With You, and Just to See Her. Robinson's contributions to music have earned him numerous accolades, including induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 and the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song in 2016. He is celebrated for his smooth tenor voice and his ability to craft timeless songs that have influenced generations of musicians. Considering today is the U.S. holiday Labor Day, I chose to highlight Smokey Robinson since his very, very first single recording in 1958 was titled Got a Job, a humorous response to the Silhouettes' hit song Get a Job, released a year earlier. Unfortunately, there are no videos of the group singing this song, but then again, when you do have a job, then you have the money to shop around. I'll put both songs in the chat.
Great toe tapping music, Ray.
I try.
I love those old groups with the one singer and then the rest of them doing the dances. They're all dressed up. Boy, music has changed.
Right, and then even in the old days, there was only usually two microphones, one for the lead singer of the group, and then the remaining 3 or 4 had to share the other one. A little different today.
Hey, thanks, Ray. Another great choice to add to the music list so Ron can do some gardening. And with that, we will turn over to the Q&A, or questions and answers. And if you have one, by all means, raise your hand and let's see what kind of discussions we can get. And we see a bevy of hands being sat upon. One thing, going to the chat, I think it was Richard said that the pre is still on his laptop in Windows 10. I don't know whether Windows 10 has been updated or not. Not everybody has had that update, but it certainly was a surprise for me. And when I went to do a search, I couldn't find any reference to it at all. And I still haven't seen any, but I haven't looked in the last day or two. Ron, you have your hand up.
A question for Chris. When you on a motion picture that you said, What's the difference between a motion picture and a video? If you take a video, aren't you just doing a motion picture? What's the difference between the two?
Motion photo is a whole different file name, format, and everything. It is a photo and 3 seconds of video. And yes, you can save it out as just 3 seconds of video, but it is special. And one of the things you can do with it is make a GIF.
Right. And on Jim's Pixel, is that still called motion?
No, it doesn't exist on the Pixel. It's Pixel has something, but it's really more of a burst than it is a motion. There's no video included in the Pixel's, what's it called?
On this action pan.
No. Huh. No, it's still more like a, I forget what
I don't see it on my Pixel, so it's not there. So it's an option on your Samsung then, right?
Samsung and iPhone. iPhones call it live photo, but it's
Okay.
it's the same thing. And Google Photos deals with this the same way, the live photo.
Yeah, Ron, what you're actually doing is you're taking a photo, but it takes a few seconds before the photo and a few seconds after and makes one file out of it.
It's magic.
Yes, yes, I understand that, but it's not on my camera.
No, it's
No.
not on my Pixel either.
It's not
No,
on
it's
Pixel.
not there. So
Not on the
it's
new Pixel as well.
yeah. So it's not available on all phones. In Samsung it is, an iPhone it is.
Right.
So you have to just check that out. Okay.
All right,
But
thanks,
you can still make a
Ron.
GIF. You can still make a GIF with any video, right? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Just not with Google Photos. You have to have
Right.
another tool.
Yeah, correct.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you can take several photos and make a GIF, an animated GIF using those.
You guys
Sue
do
Parker.
say GIF, huh? So it doesn't have, it's not an age thing. I don't know why I call it GIF.
It's called Jif because of Jiffy peanut butter. Seriously.
And
There's
and-
also a restriction on a GIF file to 256 colors. The main difference between a GIF image and a video is that a GIF actually just changes the pixels. So it goes through a sequence. It's the same image, but it cycles the pixels. And it does it in such a way that it's a sequence of still images, whereas a video is one frame after another. A GIF isn't like that. But anyway, the question I wanted to ask was for Ray. The video, was there any female backup singers in that? Because it sure sounded like they were a lot lower tone or a lot higher tone than what Smokey was.
But yes, from the 50s to maybe the early 60s, there was a female member of the Miracles, and she did tour with them, leave shop around, included her.
Not one of
But of course,
those,
that
but
was a live
That
presentation,
actually means
lip syncing,
that
and I
actually
think
means
the
video.
lip syncing was to the recording that had a female member in the group at that time. But by 1961, she was gone.
Back in the 60s, he had his wife Cosette singing with him. I remember seeing him in the 60s when she was still with the group.
But I think when in their original group, the female member was not his wife, unless maybe the name changed.
Yep.
A different name. It wasn't Robinson. And I just wish I could remember it
Yep.
offhand.
Well, like I said, I remember her in the group back in the 60s. I seen him in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. You were a lucky man. I didn't see them. They're phenomenal.
Murray, you have your hand up. You're muted.
Self there, I'm
Isn't
unmuted.
he kind of known for his falsetto?
Sorry, what?
Smokey Robinson is kind of noted for his falsetto also.
Yes, he has. He did definitely. They had beautiful falsetto at different times, depending on the song. Ooh, Baby, Ooh is probably the one where it came out the best.
All right, Murray, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to share something interesting that I've done with a great deal of help from Copilot. I've got to say, it's really been helpful. But basically, someday my MacBook is no longer going to be updated. I won't get security updates, but it's a very nice laptop. I really like it. It's lightweight, thin, long battery life and everything. Just sort of the ideal thing for portable. Way better than my PC or my Chromebook or anything else I've got. But anyway, I decided, okay, I will want to see if I can install Linux on it. And what I didn't really want to change the hard drive, and I didn't want to use like a USB live one because that's not persistent. But what I did was installed it on a external SSD, and it's now working quite well. In fact, for most applications, running Linux on the MacBook on that SSD is fast, does things faster than the native Mac does it. So anyway, I asked Bill James about the next Linux workshop. I might not be able to do it by then, but I might prepare a presentation on how I've done that, if Bill thinks that would be of interest to anybody in that group, or maybe even a condensed version for this one.
Yeah, you'll have to get hold of Judd Kennedy and Judy to make that call.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
Okay,
have to figure out whether I can do it in that time. But anyway,
Okay, Bill, thank you, Murray. Bill James? You're muted.
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I guess I didn't quite understand your video on Copilot, because on my Windows 11, I still have it on my taskbar, and it shows in taskbar settings.
The latest update that I had, it disappeared.
I just ran the
You have-
update, and
it's
I
still
didn't-
on, it's still there on mine, and I just updated today with the Insider Edition.
Bob, you had something to say about it as well?
it's not
Well,
on my Windows 10.
One was the beta, and the other one is the actual release. The
Yeah,
beta showed, and the actual release, you have to open it as an app and then drag it down to the taskbar.
Apparently it's being rolled out slowly, so not everybody gets it.
That's possible.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
but what surprised me is not a word is being said by Microsoft or any of the pundits that are out there.
And I do have my hand up for something else.
Okay. Bill, anything more?
No, that was just my comment. Now on my Windows 10, it doesn't show up any shape or form of fashion. It's only shows up in my Edge browser. But I sent you an email to show you the
Okay.
screenshots.
Okay, thank you. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, but going back to the pictures on the Pixel, my Pixel 6, I still have something that's called long exposure. And that is the same as the burst mode. And
Okay.
also one other thing,
Long exposure is long exposure.
Long exposure is a long exposure.
is that something
Like
else?
for astrophotography, yeah.
Or that's like getting a picture of car headlights
Blur.
blurred
Okay,
down the street.
okay. The other thing that seems to be now missing, starting with Pixel 8, is photosphere. And that's a feature
Ah.
I have taken so many spheres.
Yeah, I love spheres.
Well, it's no longer there. It disappeared.
God.
That's
Well,
one
maybe-
reason why I'm not going to get rid of my Pixel 6.
Well, there's probably other apps out there that'll do the same thing.
Yeah, the
but I
problem
agree.
with the
I
other-
agree.
The problem with the other apps is if you don't pay for them, they're loaded with all kinds of ads. It's not
Yeah,
a pretty
okay.
thing you want to use. So, and here it was
Well,
native.
that's the way Google does things.
Yep.
And I just want to Michael Swift put in the chat that Pixel has Top Shot. And yes, Top Shot is Pixel's answer to the motion photo or the live, but it doesn't include video. It really is. It's just not as good.
It's-
Michael says it looks pretty smooth to him. Well, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Okay,
It could-
Ron,
yes.
your hand is up.
It does work.
Two questions. Well, a comment and question, but the question would be follow up on Top Shot. And I'm busy looking at my Pixel 8 here, trying to figure this out. And thank you, Michael, for telling me that, because I didn't know what it was. But when I take a picture with Top Shot enabled and I go to Google Photos, I think in the past you could see all the different shots. Like you can choose which shots you want if it takes a
go and
burst of
edit.
them. But I can't see what there's nothing in Google Photos when I do a top shot
The
video,
one I was
a
looking at,
top
but I
shot
know that
picture
that is
that does anything. So I don't quite understand. So this would be actually a great Geeks on Tour question that maybe we could have some clarity and another video on this.
If you swipe up on your top shot, you should see all shots in this photo, and you can pick one.
All right. The other one was Hewie. I've got Windows 11 and Windows 10 open now, and it's exactly like you say. On mine, it's an app, and I can move it around and do. It's not an experimental feature. It's as you say. I can move it on the taskbar wherever I want, and it's an actual app.
And it's no longer over in the far right.
No,
And it doesn't have that
both on. Yeah, and that's both on my Windows 10 and Windows 11 machine right in front of me now. So
and you didn't realize it, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't realize it.
You heard it first on Tech for Senior.
I did. So there you go. I learned something. I thought, well, isn't that interesting? So interesting. Thanks a lot for letting me know.
Any other questions or comments?
As long as we're checking who has what, I am curious. I don't know, in chat or raise of hands. In Google Photos, does everybody now have the collections menu, or do some people not have collections?
Still have library.
And still have library.
Collections.
I have collections.
Well, three out of 3 is a lot better than we did last time that I asked this question. Richard, you're saying you do? Yes, have collections.
Fine.
All right.
All right. Brian shaking his face as well. So
I also have the Poplock in my bottom right-hand corner in Windows 10 too.
yeah, I don't know whether it's been released that way in Windows 10. I don't have a Windows 10 machine. So.
Richard, does it say pre-PRE?
Yes.
Okay. You still have the beta. You don't have the actual release. Because I don't know whether that's been released to Windows 10.
On my
Murray, we've got a very loud background.
Not from me. Anyway, it's I was going to say that I still have albums on my Windows 11 laptop.
My 10 is the new version, also on my 11 as well.
Okay, so it's being rolled out, I guess. Some people are getting it and some not, and probably the next update you may be one of the ones that gets it. So what I'm guessing.
Chris, you were talking about the mobile version, right?
It's unmuted.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
It's Explore on the web.
Correct. That's right. Just so no one, because I think people are getting a bit confused where this is the mobile version. You want to know about collections. Right.
Thank you. Yes.
Don't get confused.
Oh, that's constant.
As a reminder, on the half hour is the premiere or the educational version of Tech for Senior. Today it will be Introduction to Google Photos Folders versus Albums by Chris. Then what is AUE, or the automatic user ending of the ending date for Chromebooks by Ron, and then Modems and Routers by myself. So be sure you take a look at those. Those are very good if you're in a user group, you're looking for items to have speakers at a meeting. Just take one of those and you either use all 3 or use one, and then use it as a discussion for your group. We encourage it. We ask people to go ahead and use what we've done in the past. We hate to see it just sit there and not be used. And Chris is shaking her head. The same with her videos on hers. And then if you go to my YouTube channel and Bob's YouTube channel, we have lots of material out there that just using from Tech for Senior, from Hewie, from Bob, and from Chris, from Geeks on Tour, in other words. There's enough material out there. You shouldn't have to worry about what am I going to do for the next meeting. So with that, unless there's any other questions, I want to thank everybody joining us. Go ahead, Bill.
I just went to the Microsoft store and downloaded the official app for Copilot.
Okay. So they've at least done that. They hadn't done that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's in the App Store.
Okay. Again, thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you Thursday. Let's see, we'll see you Wednesday at Stug, Thursday for Tech for Senior. We'll see you Sunday for the Windows SIG. And next Monday, we'll see you. Have a good Labor Day for those of you here in the U.S. And enjoy the hamburgers, hot dogs, brats, whatever you have, to steaks, whatever. And enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Hewie. And for the staff of all of us, take care.
Thanks a lot. Bye now.